Here's some stuff ICE has been up to this week. 3 men claiming to be plainclothes federal officers tackled and detained an employee at Iowa City's bread garden market.
Who are you with?
Federal agents.
Who?
ICE.
ICE officers in New York City wrestled a man away from his family at an immigration court. His wife pleaded with one of the agents, who repeatedly told her adios before suddenly throwing her to the ground in front of her kids. ICE tried to break into another family's house, and when they asked to see a warrant, the officer said,
Ma'am, you're watching too much movies. We'll show you the warrant when we're done.
before busting down the door, flooding into this family's house, and yelling at one of them to drop the phone.
Drop the phone!
Like the phone itself is a weapon. Oddly poetic, speaks to how threatened they feel by the act of being documented. To that end, in Maryland, bystanders were filming an officer pressing a man's head into the concrete while the man said, "Help me, I'm an American citizen, I love America." The officer then fumbled his gun and then started pointing it at all the people filming him. ICE raided a car wash in LA, pushing the 79-year-old owner to the ground as he approached them asking what was going on. And as they were arresting his employees, he came outside to say, "Hey, I have papers for these guys," and was body slammed by 2 officers, arrested and held in a detention center despite being a US citizen. He has multiple broken ribs and a traumatic brain injury. And I feel weird. It feels weird thinking about including these videos, using my channel as a platform to circulate this kind of violence and pain. And yet at the same time, I feel like we need to be seeing what's happening in our country, like seeing the scope of the terror that people are facing. But at the same time as all of that, there's a decent cohort of this country that's like reveling in it. They're reveling in the chaos and the misery that these people are experiencing. And I don't want to hear this, "Oh, well, they violated the law coming into the country, so this is what they get." Like, you don't care about the law? Not only do we not know the means by which these people came into the country, and we've been given a litany of evidence that ICE lies about people's citizenship status, but if you cared about the law, you would know that all people in the country, regardless of citizenship, are protected by the Constitution, that they are protected against unreasonable search and seizure, that they have a right to due process and to be informed of their charges and to a speedy, impartial trial with access to counsel. If you cared about the law, you would know that the first step of the asylum-seeking process is to be physically present in the US, and you would be appalled that people are being detained at their routine check-ins and immigration hearings, being punished for going about the process lawfully. If you cared about the law, you would know that even if all of these people were undocumented, which they're empirically not, being in the country without proper documentation is itself not a crime, it's a civil violation. And according to the Trump administration's own figures, 70% of detainees have no criminal convictions. If you cared about the law, you would see this as a blatant and outrageous miscarriage of justice. But you don't. The law is a pretext that you use to strip away rights from people you don't think deserve them. Just admit it. You're not an arbiter of justice. You're an irony-poisoned edgelord who puts footage of ICE raids over the Pokemon theme and giblifies pictures of crying detainees because you've built your entire identity around making others suffer as a punishment for your own misery.